Alright, no further ado. All that jazz. Please tell me I have it plugged in right. Yes. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. Let me take a breath. Oh, man, you wouldn't believe the days that I've had the last 24 to 48 hours of my life. We could talk about that later, though, because, of course, we have to wait for people to percolate in before I say anything. And for those of you that are watching the VOD, feel free to just, skip ahead if you don't really like Not Tetris. But I like to think it's the highlight of the entire stream. So, let's not play Tetris. And, yeah, let me move my phone out from, under the microphone in my hand. I know that, you really got to limber for this. And you gotta be ready. Oh, and I didn't put the stream thing in the thing. Whoever comes in first, feel free to do that. We already screwed up, so I'm tempted to say F it and pause and go. Oh wait, I can pause. Oh, that's not pause. Ah, damn it. It was going so well too. Okay, gotta put that in streaming and recording, and I'm also gonna plug the Tolbrin Peninsula channel on the Discord. Hello, dragon. I beat you to it. Okay, let's do this for real now. Over there. And this can go down here. This can go, here. I'm trying to think of the next piece, right? At least with, when the game begins, you have enough time to think about this. Okay, that I'm not going to be able to slot into there properly. There's no way. Let's put this against here. What are we doing today is a good question that I will answer as soon as we really get going. But I'll answer it again then, I guess, and I'll answer it now also because I can't stop myself. We're gonna keep working where we were working last time and try to get to the point where we can do the scenery from the Road River to the edge of town. That's the biggest priority right now. Because that's an actual, stepping stone. We'll have a chunk of scenery that's done, I feel like we've done enough of just sort of screwing around in... Oh, that didn't work the way I hoped it would. Of just screwing around in Bellington and South Bellington and setting up the roads and everything like that. I did see some stuff that was a little bit inspirational for the road network, but I think to that point, all it really did was tell me that what I've done is kind of okay. So, I think we're going to pretty much leave things the way that they are unless our further construction demands that we change it. And to that end, we're going to just sort of fill in the area between the blocks and start working on the scenery proper instead of just the roads. Anyway. Yeah, we should be doing scenery, proper scenery. At least that's what I hope. I mean, it's going to be some industry work, some scenery, some trees and fields and stuff. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to be too optimistic. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up about anything in particular. But that's what's on my mind right now. So that's what our priority is going to be. It remains to be seen whether we actually, do that. So... Anyway. Okay. Let's put that like that. Things are going well. I think I'm okay with this. Let's keep it cool. That was perfect. That's not gonna fit there. I should have dropped it in the middle. That's okay. We've got another long one we can put in the middle. Oh, the whole thing was falling down. Okay, that's not helpful. Please drop. Thank you. Okay. I'm feeling good about this. We're doing good. We're thinking. We're building. It's like when you learn your first opening in chess. By the way, if it sounds rude, but when you have free time, can you send me the specs of your computer? Yeah, just poke me about that later. Here's the thing. My computer is a disaster. You do not want to recreate this computer one-to-one. You don't. Straight up. This is made of secondhand old parts. You want something that isn't this. I know you're trying to figure your way and figure out what's good in a PC, but if you're not going to just use my computer for reference, I don't want to give you these specs so that you can try to recreate them one to one. I want you to uh yeah, well, you'll get first-hand parts, but my point is you can't get the stuff that's in this computer firsthand. It's old. If you get, if you're buying new stuff, which it's not, there's nothing wrong with getting stuff secondhand. But if you're buying new stuff, which you should be, if you don't want to always be on the cusp of having to replace everything, ask me how I know, then you don't want to replicate these. I can tell you what my stuff is as a benchmark for you to shoot to be better than. And I can send you a couple of sites. There are a couple of sites that I should probably pin in gaming that I use for comparing graphics cards and processors, so I know what in my hoard I should put into a computer. What you should do is try to catch me, I know, time zones. Try to catch me during the day. Problem is, going into the dark will lead me into a disaster of wasting money. Yeah, no, I don't want you to go in dark, but I just want to give you the cautionary tale of, like, don't try to rebuild this computer exactly. Use it as a benchmark if you must. I mean, it's my family. It's a family. It's a secret family recipe. Oh no, oh no, things are getting bad. This can go right here. This can go right here. No, 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 no. Uh-oh, that was the wrong button. I panicked. Uh-oh, this is the end of Rico. Okay, that sucked. New Minecraft update looks sick. Thanks. No, it's more of a will these parts fit. I think PC Part Picker will help you with that as well. But yeah, take Mason's advice. Mason knows way more about computers than I ever will. Like, literally ever will. I got some of this stuff from him, and then I took the motherboard that he so graciously gave me at an extremely reduced price and accidentally just drove a screwdriver straight through it. It was not my finest moment. Anyway, so remember how I dropped this here yesterday and went, you know what, this is a cool spot for this. You know what, whatever. It's not final, but I'm just gonna leave this here. Hey, Jebediah. Oh, this is cement plant stuff. This needs to go with the cement plant stuff. Over there. Alright, so now that people are here, and now that not Tetris is over with, what I am working on today is a good question. So, everything from this yard to this river is fair game. I want to get more of these industries in, but I also want to figure out just the end of the area here. I mean, we put down these buildings here. I think having a long, thin building on this side will help. Will help us out. Will make things look a little bit better. I don't know what, because I think it's probably going to be a bunch of buildings put up next to one another. But that's the thing with this. I don't know how to end the town, and I'm just thinking about how when you're driving out of North Adams, one of the last things you see is a big, like a long, thin mill building before you start heading up the hill. Now, in this case, we're not heading up the hill. We're not heading up any hill. We're heading out into the unknown, or into the fields, right? So maybe that isn't appropriate, and maybe what should actually be there is a bank of stores. In fact, I'm thinking stores. And I want, yeah, storefronts. Let's grab one of these. What about this one that I can sit on the corner here? I'm thinking of churned dirt, like the one that looks like sawdust near the shed, and some commercial hill near the shed, since that looks like a main road. Yeah, this is probably going to be some commercial. The thing is, this, like, I kind of wish I had one more block, and I think I will add one more block. Oh, here comes the dog. Somebody's doing something outside, but they've got to get barked at. Um, there he goes. I don't know if you could see him, but I bet you could hear him. Anyway. Yeah, so these roads are going to end up being changed. We do need to figure out the roads themselves. And I think... So this is actually really awkward, because this is supposed to be like a main road. Well, no, that's not a main road, sorry. That's just a diagonal street. This is sort of a main road. And I kind of want to continue this until it meets with this. Because that would make a little bit more sense with the way this is lined up. But then again, this was the main road. There's a section of Troy, New York, where the two main streets come together in a point. Because one of them is one way and one of them is the other way. So that instigates that. And you know, I probably want some good sized. I probably want some good sized like homes in here. It's just I want to think about how the traffic would have developed, and going from this street to this street with a left and a right is really awkward. You're going to want a way to go from this to this, even if this isn't your main road anymore, this is. And with that in mind, maybe we should truncate this and just have it plug into here. We need to think about the way traffic flows are working. I mean, if this is a lot of residential and you have quite a bit of commercial over here, you probably want this skew intersection like this. Remember what I said earlier? I am content with the road network we have, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go through and change it if I feel like something is better. Nope, that's not. Nope, where is it? Which one is it? I want fine adjustment. There we go. Send this back this way. Oh, no. I forgot that happens in Surveyor 2.0 as well. If I hold shift, it should stop it, right? Yes. Okay. Alright, so we have our diagonal intersection there. I think I'm going to delete this. That's a main road. 4 intersections are a hassle to traffic. Something interesting you don't notice unless you're a giant nerd is the difference in road authorities. State roads, U.S. highways are designed very differently than how a city would do it. That is a very good point. Like you can tell what is a U.S. route or a former one. Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think I could pick that out if you showed me a map. I might be able to get the gist of it, but yeah, I mean, Mason, I would probably trust you to figure it out. You've studied the MUTCD more than I have, and I'm the traffic engineer. I have only just looked at and this is going to be a square, I guess. I've only just looked at the newest edition just to figure some stuff out for signal warrants. I haven't learned from it as much as I probably could or should. Oh, we probably need a gas station on the end here. Surveyor Classic. The fact that the two surveyors aren't next to one another is it trips me up. I was just thinking about playing chess East. But I'm not gonna be doing that. What is this? No smoking. Gas building. Gas building, huh? That's interesting. Probably goes with some gasworks stuff. I'll put that over there. Oh, we could have like a giant gasometer. For example, where I used to live, they had a 4-lane road where it otherwise wouldn't make sense. Turn out it used to be US 12. Fascinating. Or on the road through Point Pleasant that leads to the bridge. Yeah. Gas station. Gas station BP derelict. I mean, we only have a handful of gas stations that really look the part, you know? Uh, this is one of them, and then the Flying A, I think, is the other one. The Mohawk one. I mean, they're all reskins of the same. That the derelict BP one, like that looks not bad, but hi Lafayette. Gasworks Tower. Ooh, that definitely goes with the other thing. Where is it? Here. Gas building. No, gas station, gas light. The gas lamps are really cool. And then that probably that goes with it too, huh? I want. Where was the garage? We'll put that there, just as this is like the you're leaving town, get gas now sort of place. And we will have a couple of other gas stations in this town, of course. Oh, we have a bunch of different buildings. Okay. So, the biggest, most formative things are going to be... So we have our road that goes this way, which we keep right on the edge, just so we can keep an eye on it, really. And then we have this road, which I suppose I'm just going to make go dead straight, because... Is the Tolbert map public in 2019? That's a good question. I mean, there are definitely versions of it that are up on the DLS. I don't know if 2019 is one of them. I can't remember. Hmm. Yeah, so this is going to be our main point of entry is right here. I was tempted to sort of connect here, but what I think is going to happen, because, you know, if you think about it, a road coming in from up there, I mean, would it have come down this way, like dead straight, and then plugged into here somewhere once upon a time? Um, it would make sense if we want to follow why this is at this angle in particular, but it doesn't quite line up. It almost does. I might want to make it line up. Um, so what is the angle of this road? Or this railroad, rather. And I'm going to do an approximate, you know. We're talking 282 degrees. So let's just go from here then. 282 degrees, that means it would be 102 degrees. If we go to the edge of the map at 102 degrees, how long does it take us to get there? Or do we hit the river? Tell me we don't hit the river. Ah, we hit the river. Yeah, okay, so now both the bridges are just out of our line of sight. Okay, no. No, not useful. We're not doing that, because that looks like garbage. Oh, actually, no, I wanted to turn this into a dirt road, I think, didn't I? But we've got all these commercial stores on here, so it's got to be more than that. You know, if we're putting down stores, it means we've got a lot of traffic in this direction, and a gas station. It means we have a lot of traffic in this direction. So that really doesn't line up with the idea that... oh, this turn is garbage. That really doesn't line up with the idea that that's going to go to a dirt road and be, you know, pretty much forgettable. Which means we should probably send this one off in a straight line instead of like this. And make the bridge up here. Because, yeah, I mean, this goes that way. This comes this way. And maybe there's a bridge down there. But, I mean, because it's awkward, you know, if you're coming down this way, and let me do a little. It's my favorite one. If it was like a cat's eye one, it would be cool. Sent the two places and talking about the stream and recording for reference. I will take a look at those. I'm going to throw down a stop sign for the other side approach. So why not? My point is, it would be awkward to pull up to here and then have to take a left and go, you know, sort of backtrack and then take a right. But the thing is, if we want to sell it like the river sort of widens down there, then maybe it makes sense to do it up here. In which case, having it at 102 degrees and bringing it to right here actually kind of makes a lot of sense, because then you're going to have your crossing right up here, like just around the corner. I mean, I could always put it on the map, right? There's no reason I couldn't do that, but it would mean undoing some of the scenery we did. Right now we're acting like this river is some sort of impenetrable barrier because I didn't put a bridge right next to the other bridge. And honestly, I think it sells it better if we have it up here. So, yeah, no, we'll do it just off screen then. And we'll have to put some extra spline points in because this is really something. It's like a 3-tile long spline, which is not ideal. It's going to load very poorly. It's going to look like garbage when it actually does load in. Because now you can see it going all the way down there. So let's drop in a couple spline points just to break things up. And let's straighten that. And nothing else is going to end up needing to be straightened because it just doesn't. Actually, you know what? We're going to bend it a little bit. Because I think... Yeah, okay, that's already straightened. I think a little adjustment like this would do us some good. Right there. Let's try to make the curve circular as best we can in Trainz. And then straighten this. And that looks absolutely atrocious. So let's bring that out to there. Is that grass outline of the river where it widens? It's more or less... It was where I was marking the edges of where I was thinking of putting the fields. So, like, the grass outline is meant to represent the edges of the trees that are on the sloped parts, that are on the riverbanks. I don't know why the word riverbanks didn't come to me and I had to say sloped parts. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to lower this area here to sell it a little bit better, and maybe what we'll do is we'll put some sort of swampy portions in here. And my computer's starting to get annoyed at me. I can only imagine why when I'm next to all these trees. That's why you don't want to copy this. Okay. I don't mean to necessarily always volunteer Mason for tech support duty. It's just he's really good at it, and I'm really not. Like, I can speculate, I can guess, but I have none of the tools. I don't know what I'm doing. Hence the destroying a motherboard. Okay. So let me... I'm excited for my special delivery from Graham, which is apparently going to be more junk that I'm very happy about. I say junk with, like, the most endearment that I can, as a matter of fact. I love all my junk. I was ready to spring into action to save all of my junk the other night when it was raining like absolute hell and my basement was threatening to flood very hard. I had 2 pumps running and it was not enough. And I was up until about 6 a.m. keeping an eye on it, making sure that it didn't get worse or that it wasn't getting worse. Or when it was getting worse, because it was, uh, I was moving stuff to higher ground. And I was so ready to move all the computers to upstairs, all of my extra computer parts that are down there that were threatened with being inundated. But thankfully, 2 pumps and the rain died off at like 5:30. Yeah, using the road as the delimiter is probably the way I'm going to go, Dragon. I just didn't have the road there originally. Like, the road was not in my brain until just now. So now that we have it, it's definitely going to be the delimiter at least until we get to like right here, and then we'll have fields fill in. But we will have trees up to the edge of it here. And yeah, I do want to have more swamps here. No, I don't want sensitivity. I want more radius. I want to dig into this edge as much as I can, because now I'm not really sacrificing farmland because it's not going to be farmland anyway. I forgot what term I used for the plateau smoothing. But the plateau smoothing is it's your best friend in Trainz, just for terraining at all. Um, okay. I got the Tolbern map so I can see the names of the cities I forgot. Oh, you know what? Let me just do this right now. Um, how does Pan Am look? May the rare rest in peace. I've been absent because of work. I will show you in just a second. I'm just gonna throw the most recent Tolbern map um, down in. Although that's not actually the most recent. Hold on. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna open the map so we can look at it. I'm gonna make a copy of it. I'm gonna put it in the Tolbern Peninsula channel, which for people doing Tolbern stuff, Mason, if you can throw those links in the thread, I'd appreciate it, because then I'll be able to not have them buried and look at them later. So let me file save as Tolbern superimposed. Oh, you know what? Yeah, superimposed PNG. You know what? Let me hide the map part. Like that. Okay. Road, railroad, legend, don't have Tolbern on. Have water, don't have the background map. Save as PNG. Tolbern map 2024 01/11. I can't see anyone writing anything right now, so bear with me. There we go. Tolbern Peninsula. Where are you? Where's my thread? Oh, it's hidden. It's hidden because it's been inactive. Tolbern map there. Posting that. And I'm going to wake the thread up, and I'm also going to edit the thread and say, oh wait, no, it is 1 week of inactivity still. Okay. So there's the map. It's in the Tolbern Peninsula thing. If you want to look at it, want to see it some more. Let's go look at Pan Am for a second. Actually, let's do the cinematic. We'll run along the railroad tracks. So, if you've been out of sorts, you might have also missed the creation of Constance, which is this very small town right here. But if we go up the road and the railroad, which need telephone poles now that I think about it. Going with the trains. Well, the Trainz map is way out of date, so that's the problem with that. That's why I hit it. We have a little underpass there. We have our signal bridge a couple miles out of Pan Am. Small stand of trees. There is an ode to the original Geiger Mountain map. I mean, that's true. We're building the entire Geiger Mountains. So here's Pan Am. We've got our mill and the mill pond. And this is the town of Pan Am, which I kind of wish I could hide all the... You know what? Let me go into Surveyor 2.0, because that'll hide all the things. Oh, but can I hide? No, I can't hide my UI during this. Oh well. I wish I could hide my UI. It looks a little less like hell. We have our little grass airstrip, or dirt airstrip, sidings for the grain elevator. We've got Main Street. With no cars on it, because I was too lazy to put cars. Our diner on the corner. Gas station, same one, because we've only got one good one. Little car dealership and real estate building, supermarket, motel, waterworks for the town. Over here we have a fruit, not plantation, what's the word? Fruit farm, whatever. Tree farm. The town of Fale. Just an area with nothing, some little buildings there, greenhouse. Some might call it Second Main Street. And then a little Victorian place on the corner there with a treehouse. We have the depot for the Department of Transportation. And then just this this road that goes pretty much the whole length of town with little houses. Some people have gardens. Some people got trees growing. Some people have little swampy areas in their backyard. Somewhere around here there's a fire department. I think that's it right there. Yep. And then there's this, which is the town hall, and across from it the Stagnaro building, which is also the Cannon Company in Olive. And the actual, like, the real waterworks, the main waterworks. Yeah, this is the town of Pan Am. There's the church with the graveyard, where the walls go up in the back, which that was intentional. Oh, and the station was the first thing we had. Oh, and we did add this. I don't remember what this industry does, but it does something. Yeah, all the car storage down here. Little Pan Am depot. And so now let's zap back to reality. I'm going to delete this while we're here, though. Surveyor Classic. Seeing the icons and text for the things on the horizon is a little bit much. There we go. Is the tramway really only served by trams? What, the New Shoreham Tramway? That's just the name of the company. The New Shoreham Tramway will have pretty much all of the electric motive power, and they have some diesel and dual mode stuff too. They own the FL9s, that run the beach train uh, for the Gilson Eastern. Okay. So yeah, now that we have confirmed this is a main drag out of town, um, we can figure this stuff out, and we can actually work from now that we have this road in. We can work from the river in, and this side is going to be the easiest one because we've got. If we want to grab just a very plain farm field texture, and I'm not gonna lie, this is like the last thing I want to do, but we do have to do it. Let me grab this wheat green texture. And I do want to do the sort of 1 kilometer squares. Or, well, actually, because of the way this is set up, I mean, we should probably keep gridding all the way to the end here. So I'm just going to mark it off like this. I'm going to... Okay, you know what? Let's just jump right into the trees then. Been doing this for like 4 years and are still barely 0.1% there. I wonder what the actual percentage is, but of course the map has suffered some substantial scope creep, so I'm sure I would have been further along had I stuck to my original idea, but my original idea was boring. My original idea had like a total of 9 towns and just some crazy distances between them. It would have felt like just a really oversized version of the Railroader map. There would have been nothing to it. Should have had scope verification meeting. Yeah, no, I did. I met with myself, and I said I want to add an entire 3-foot division, and so I did. Can't just release a consultant on a project. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. This is exactly my problem. Alright, so some of this is going to be sort of swampy, and some of it's going to have more trees. We'll see what turns out to be what after I get the copy pasting of the trees done. 2442 locomotive in RRON, yeah, no. Well, I keep saying it, they figured out how to add locomotives, so it's only a matter of time before we get, you know, like a bunch of steam engines piling in, sanctioned or unsanctioned. I feel like Skookum would be a lot of fun in that game, but with anything, I feel like you could really just have like a generic set of locomotives because they don't strike me as being, you know, the power differences between them don't jump out to me as much. Let's get Zuma. Yeah. They don't stick out to me as much. Now, I haven't done really any driving in Railroader, so I can't really speak to it. I can only take what I've heard other people say, and my own experiences in Derail Valley, which, you know, once you do that, it's tough to pick up anything else. I can't drive in Trainz certainly anymore. Maybe I'd be able to do it in like Train Simulator or something. But the fact of the matter is, it's just like it's not the first person walk around the cab experience that I want now. Like, I've had the best thing I could ever have, and I just want more of that. And the first-person aspects in Railroader are very good, but the third-person aspects are too damn powerful. I find myself using it even though I want to. I find myself jumping in a third-person cam to go set a switch, or to go check on something, or, you know, or God forbid, to, like, set the handbrakes or something, and it's like, man, this is immersion braking. Like, I want to go and like walk there and do it and feel like I'm a part of something. I think Deer Valley is the first train sim to bring about the current generation of train sims where the trains aren't glued to the tracks. I mean, yeah, in some part, but I think that the place that it shines is the first person perspective aspect. I mean, yeah, no, Derail Valley and the emphasis on wrecking your train, it's sort of something that we haven't seen before in the in the um, in the landscape of train games. Uh, but it's not like we haven't had good wreck physics and trains flying off the track or whatever. Uh, I definitely feel like Derail Valley is an improvement, but in old versions of Trainz, which Trainz is like the least of these, in versions of Train Simulator, in MSTS for God's sake, we had pretty half decent train derailment physics. I mean, I watched plenty of those videos online when I was a kid, on like the earliest versions of YouTube, and also I crashed plenty of trains myself. Um, Train Sim World, I'm not Train Sim World. I'm not counting. SD40 Operator's Manual. Um, yeah, Train Sim World is an interesting one. I know virtually nothing about it. I appreciate that they made a Boston to Providence map. Um, and honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with having that kind of complexity in your game, as long as maybe as long as you can turn it off and as long as you have the appropriate instructions. Like, I'm not annoyed with Run 8, for example. Run 8 has an incredible amount of detail in its simulation of pretty much everything. It's not without bugs, it's not without issues, but it is one of those games where I feel like you need a proper locomotive manual to do stuff with, pretty much. That Russian train sim also feels the same way to me, the one that I keep seeing videos from. The one where you can get drunk and throw vodka bottles at bears or whatever. Um, the perfect Russian train simulator, honestly. Uh, the I think I'm gonna shrub this entire hillside here and leave the trees as just like a relatively thin strip. Um, as long as you don't advertise it to the masses as video game and not a simulation for a very specific audience. Yeah, no, and I think that's why I don't have any problem with Run 8. Run 8 is not pretending to be a train game. It's very much a simulator. It's very much a, uh, you know how to mess with this stuff, or at least you understand the basics, and you're with your friends and they're going to explain stuff to you. I mean, yeah, people just use like the air brake cheat all the time, which annoys the hell out of me, but I understand because time. Uh, but it's definitely a hardcore simulator. Whereas something like Derail Valley does a really good job of riding the line. Um, but I wouldn't complain. I certainly don't complain about the difficulty of the Steam Sim there, even though it's a little bit intimidating. And I wouldn't complain about that detail being in virtually any other game. The other thing is, with Derail Valley, they do a very good job of easing you into, uh, whatever. It has tutorials that are pretty good, if they're even if they're a little bit annoying in how much they want to try to teach you when you just want to drive. Um, uh, and no other train game really has that so much. If I remember right, the Century of Steam demo had some pretty decent tutorial functions, and if I think about it, I can see the Derail Valley sort of thought process reflected in those. Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna even, if you're gonna model train driving, even at half accuracy, which is a completely arbitrary value I just came up with, if you're gonna model it at that, you're still gonna need an instruction manual, You're still gonna need to explain, someone's gonna have to explain to your player how to do the thing. And whether it's a simulator or a game, or something in between, I will never begrudge them, but I always hope that there is something for the people that want to play it like a model railroad. Like there doesn't need to be a just hard mode or just easy mode. Now, obviously, Derail Valley does not have um, Derail Valley does not have a DCC mode, but it does have lots of difficulty settings, like tons of difficulty settings. You know, the gist of the game is figuring out how to use those locomotives and use them well, and the game sort of eases you into it. Anyway, I'm gonna get distracted because, or I'm gonna distract myself from this because Dragon's asking questions. Um, what are we doing after Bellington? So let me pull up the map myself again, and you can follow along. By, oh, you know what? I'm gonna open it in Paint.net again so that I can have the. Nope, that's not it. So that I can have the background. And also, I'm going to make this just the. Yeah. Okay. I'm renaming this so that it's just the thing. Alright, zap me into Paint.net. So, we're working on this right now. Where I want to go after Bellington, there are a couple of options here, but I think I need to complete this. The run from Doe Cliff through Appleton to Bellington and South Bellington. I think I should do this first, because this is my limiting factor. Like, going up to Appleton, I know I need to get about halfway to whatever this point is. And why are there so many abandoned branches around Mason Valley? This was an older version of the main line. This was the Volga Mountains Railroad. In order to not build their big bridge over the Shoto River here, they actually went this way, and you can see this if we go over to it. I'm a little disoriented, but we have the lake here, Lionhead Lake. This Y right here, the main line originally went this way, and you can see it sort of, you know, going off into the woods. And that's also why these engine facilities are aligned against this main line, and why the freight house is over here and the original station building is over here, because the trains would be coming in and they would pull into here, they'd get a helper, and then they would continue on this way. Oop, missed a spot. They would continue on this way, and they would run over what is a relatively low grade but long route to get to this town here. Now, I think hindsight is 2020. If I were to do this again, I would probably leave this branch in, so that cars can go from, or, you know, so that commodities can go from the Volga Mountains Railroad to the extension of the Geiger Mountains. But honestly, you can just put carloads. You know, you can throw them onto the Gilson Eastern and have them take them down here. Like, they probably made an agreement with the Gilson Eastern so that the goods would go through Mason Valley instead of having to maintain this long stretch of right-of-way. Which, if we did maintain that stretch of right-of-way, then we would still probably have a roundhouse here. But instead, we have an abandoned turntable, the foundations of a roundhouse, and some coal bunkers that are probably never going to see another train again. But yeah, oh, hey Mew. But yeah, we're probably going to do this next, and then this, and then this. As much as I want to push on and do this, because this is a fun project, I can't bring myself to make more farm fields at this point in time. I need to go back into the mountains, or I'm going to go insane. And getting this done would mean that you'd be able to run a locomotive, which would be fun, right? You'd be able to run a train from Olive up the VMR to here, which I don't have a name for yet, through Appleton, South Bellington, down and back around through Pan Am Mason's Landing, and then back to Olive. There's no way to get from northbound here to southbound here without reversing the train, so you'd have to just start out. Well, honestly, what you'd probably do is you'd do this, because you could start in the yard and just go out like that. Although you can get out of the yard that way. What am I saying? And then come around this way and then go up this way. This is going to be an interesting thing at Appleton. I don't really know what to do with it. Originally, there were going to be some more branches of the Geiger Mountains Railroad that took over aspects of this, but I think I'm just going to leave the track in place. And maybe sometime in the distant future, I will put in the tiles so that if you really wanted to, you could run a train over the original route. And then this was an attempt to do what the Geiger Mountains Railroad ended up doing. I don't remember or know the lore on this. I never wrote it. I just sort of made the dotted line. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna have our tunnel here, or tunnel and or mountain pass. I'm not sure what it's going to be. We're definitely gonna have plenty of weaving up the mountain here, unless this is a high point. Now, here's the thing. So this is supposed to be high desert. So if this is sort of like, I mean, it's supposed to be high desert. I'm thinking of it sort of like the South Park Mesa, or the South Park, like that area there, which would mean this is sort of like Kenosha Pass, which, yikes. So we've got to figure that one out. This is probably going to be some pretty steep ascending to cross this pass here, and I was originally going to hole a tunnel, but I'm not sure. To down to across the flats to up, up or down, I can't really tell which one, to this here. And we'll probably end up getting in a lot of other stuff before we get to Everett Lake, because I feel like there are so many constraints. Like, it's got to line up with this and the design and skyline as well. Part of me wants to definitely not go past, like, Summit, or maybe not even get close. Maybe just go to here and then call it good, and then work my way all the way around the coast and come up on the other side, to make sure that we can meet in the middle. But that's going to be something to think about. Anyway, Mystery City, the name is Dragon's Den. I mean, that'd be really cool. We have a couple of dragon references already. I mean, this is Alduin Pass, if I remember right. And oh, I thought we had another dragon-related, or like at least like a Skyrim-related one. But I cannot remember where. I don't know. Maybe I just wrote it in and it's not there anymore. I'm in Emden, Cedar Springs. I need to... Yeah, okay. Anyway. Okay. Also, I'm noticing that Kingston, Zion, and Albion are... Or at least Kingston and Albion are very British-inspired. Emden obviously is German-inspired. That might say something about the sort of colonial period of the Tolbrin Peninsula. Name a Flagstop sweet roll. Okay, anyway, back to work. So yeah, that's my distraction. We've already burned an hour on this. I've done like nothing. I mean, we've solved some important problems. Some weeks are just grunt work. Some weeks are just some weeks are just grunt work. Some weeks are just problem solving. I swear, it's got to be. I put just about everything in the cabinet, in the dog cabinet. So they're probably in there. If not, then I don't actually know because I thought they were on my desk outside. Okay. Brewery called Dixon. Anyway. Alright, let's get some trees in here. Could add a boat washed up from a previous storm. Yeah, actually that'd be actually kind of funny to put like a like a sloop just way far inland, like where it does not belong. That would be kind of funny. Okay, I'm glad you found them. Thank you for letting me know. No, these are too many trees. This forest is too dense. Let me grab it out of here. I'd rather have the thinner forest that is easier to like look at. Okay. Um, Gotta focus on this. Feeling on the mountains. I'm way since bored of farmland and gentle rolling hills. Yeah, me too. Um, I am looking forward to. Oh shoot! I'm gonna need to grab a smaller section of trees for this. Uh, I'm looking forward to figuring out what happens after. Where is it? This. We've made it across the bridge. You know, we have Upper Doe Cliff with its with its little station and little road layout, and it's up here. Now what? You know, uh, we've got to keep going up. I hope to have more stuff that looks like this. This is one of my favorite areas on the map. The whole, I mean, the entirety of the VMR. Um, oh, oh, you know what? I didn't even see cider. uh, I didn't even say I couldn't see your whole comment there, Mopac. Otherwise, I would have said it and laughed. I just saw Dixon and I thought, oh yeah, Dixon Manufacturing, like Dixon Locomotive Works. Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a good reference. Okay. Um. All right. Let's do. Let's do that. All right. See you, Dragon. Yeah. See if you can catch me tomorrow. Uh. I don't know if he's gonna say that. Anyway. Um. All right. Yeah. Now I'm zoned in on placing trees. I'm focused. At least we're making progress. We've made it across the river. We have a beachhead on this side of the Road River, and I mean, at least for me, the monotony was a little bit broken by the by doing Bellington there. Uh, you know what, uh, Mopac? I think we should put Dixon Cider in Nudie Mag, so it'll be an off map. There's your clip. It'll be an off map industry, which is a shame. I'm not gonna build all the way to Nudie Mag, so it would just fit with it perfectly, as I'm sure you would agree. Um, I was talking. Somebody was talking about after. Oh yeah, we were doing some lore discussion after Coffee Shop this past week, and Road River Mountain Desert Island Valley. Yeah, no, that's gonna be the name of the company for the Railroader save for the server. Um, anyway, yeah, and I just, oh man, it took every ounce of my restraint to not break out the like, guess what I called one of my sports teams. For those who don't know, and for those who haven't looked at the map, if there's anyone that hasn't been sticking around that is for if, if there's anyone that's new here, um, totally making MDIV car in HO now. Yes. Well, it would have to be narrow gauge, no? Um, but yes, no, please do. Route of Mothman. I forgot we did the cryptid names. Oh man, that was the best part of that save. I miss playing Rareits Online with everyone, even if it became like the persona non grata of train games. I do miss doing it. I wish it got better. I wish they had some performance fixes and it was more enjoyable to play. But I do miss the chaos and the fun that unfolded. I want to do a Railroader save. I'm waiting for someone to suggest Railroader for a community playdate and for it to make it through. It's been suggested before. Um, it just hasn't won. And I've been hesitant to put my vote in for it because if we get like 7 people for a playdate that all want to play Railroader, uh, and we're starting a brand new save, like what am I gonna do with like 7 of those people? You know, uh, that's the problem. It's like if we have all these people, what what am I gonna have them do as train master? Stand around and look pretty. Just go over there, like go survey the line, make sure there are no washouts or anything. Um, I don't know what I would do. You start with 2 engines, right? I said this on the podcast, didn't I? Or I said this last episode. But even if we have like 6 people, I don't know what everyone would do. You have a train master and 2 crews of 2, and then you have somebody that's like there for comic relief. I don't know. Also, it would get chaotic. We would probably want to reserve like all the other voice channels in the Discord so that people can go and do their switching maneuvers without talking over one another. Because that was our problem last time. Dean was trying to tell this cool story, and I had to tell Casey how far she was from her couple. Um, Full unionized crew. Yeah, everyone gets smoke breaks every 20 minutes. Um, can build a handcar roller coaster. Yeah. The handcar just being perpetual motion is one of the dumbest things in that game, and it's so funny. Ellis, if you want it, I'm free. We can use my line, but that's not what I. The point is not to use somebody else's. The point is to make a specifically community save that we all decide in the decisions of what we local 69. Uh, we decide on the decisions of like what we're gonna buy next and everything. Like that's sort of why I was getting hung up because it's like I could obviously jump into I could say like, hey, does anyone want to use their save? But if you want to use your save for a Railroader playdate, say that in the vote, or you're allowed to say that in the vote, and I'm sure people will vote for it. It might not win, but people will vote for it, I'm sure. Um, and it's kind of what's the word? It's like I want a homegrown community save. That's my goal here. I'm never gonna play it on my own. I like to jump in other people's saves and get on crews and figure out the AI and figure out what the best thing for everything to be doing. I mean, I jumped onto Bender's save with I think 3 or 4 other people not too long ago, and I had a blast. Even though I did feel a little bit like I was stealing Bender's thunder because I was sort of running his railroad. Um, I'd like to use mine, but I have really bad internet. Is it reliant on the internet of the host? Because that would have something to do with it, huh? Anyway, one of the other things is when we had an RRO save, like it was just maxing my processor with everything that was there. Um, and that's when things got started to get real groovy uh, with the trains. Like it is actively worse with a worse computer hosting and worse internet and everything. There are some games where it doesn't really matter too much because they have offsite hosting or whatever. But you know, okay. I kind of want to put in like some reeds on the water's edge here because I don't like the way that the grass here cuts off. Um, that's not helpful. That's definitely not what I need. Yeah, let's put these along the edge. That's a nice bridge, though. I like that bridge. Um, really? There are no reed splines? Okay, we're going to go to the swamp. Railroader doesn't have turntable on mainline. Yeah, thank God. Uh, when are we going to get a 40ph in Railroader? Somebody needs to mod that in. Come on, load in the swamp, please. Maybe this'll work. Come on, keep going. We need to rewatch Bacon Line now. It's named for you. I am was the last there is one more episode of Bacon Line in the vault, believe it or not. It exists. I don't think I'm ever gonna bother to release it because it is just very frustrating. It's just Jader keeps getting dropped out of the game. Um, but uh, should be easy to put in a 40ph. Yes, please. Um, it needs to look like it works. I want something subtle, but not too subtle. Um, grass, trackside spline? No. Um, I'm really surprised there are no reeds. Uh, like genuinely surprised. I'm stunned because I feel like it's so obvious to have. This actually doesn't look half bad. Especially on the outside of bends like this. Or, I mean, really, it'd be on the inside of bends, huh? It would be like this. Um, I guess it goes to show you how difficult it is to implement building your own railroad in a first-person game that nobody else has done it. I mean, yeah, Bacon Line L's version from the vault. Oh boy. Oh man, yeah. Rest in peace. Locomotive number 2 that never existed. Um, but yeah, it is kind of surprising that no one else had done it by that point. You know, I'm surprised it took that long, and I'm glad that it showed there's an appetite for it because now we might see it in more games. I mean, we're getting Century of Steam, of course, but we might see it in some other properties as well. And the Roblox game also is a thing. Um, I can't ever count that one out. All right, let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah, this looks not bad. It doesn't look like it's a mistake, and that's sort of what I was worried about. Um, it also gives the impression that this is a fairly slow-flowing river, um, which I guess is not a bad thing. Uh, But yeah, there is one more episode that's in the vault. There are a few episodes of things that are in the vault, um, that I'll probably just never bother to release because I don't know why I would. It's just there's not really anything to them. Maybe I'll release them in 10 years when there's something going on, or but it's like, oh, you know what? Here, I'm like getting married, and here's my wedding present to you. That would not be in 10 years. That'd be much sooner than that. But you know, point is, just like as a thing. Um, Hope it's much sooner than that. So anyway, is the last episode of the Bacon Line that was released the Italian Trainz episode? Because oh no, it's the TTOML episode. Hold on, I gotta look this up. I gotta go to my own YouTube channel because I don't remember. YouTube.com/bombs321, and that should take me to my channel. Yes, it does. Um, I like the recommendation of the New England Railroad Jeopardy. That's what's being recommended to me right now. Trainz Road Building, other games, The Bacon Line.
You could
We
go
had
to
28
Granger.com
episodes
to
of
find.
this. Stop. Don't play that. Thank you. A very creepy man. First Train Down. That's probably the best episode. Why do we do this to ourselves? Escape from the Smelter, Part 1 and 2. Lionelville, The First Train Up. The Baldwin Book. Italian Drains is episode 23. Tyler's Bad Ideas, Handcar of Doom. Organic Mountain Pass. Jader's Ghost, and then TTOML. This is... Yeah, that's... So clips of it on the podcast Family Guy cutaway style. Hello, Thomas Fan. Yeah, the last episode was TTOML, which is the perfect send-off for... It's the perfect chaotic send-off for a chaotic game and chaotic series. The First Train Down, and what was the episode with the runaway? Where it made it all the way to the bottom. I don't remember the name of that one. Hold on, I'll see if I can guess it by the title. Eureka, Marathon Insanity Special. Oh, that's when I made the bridge. Escapes from the Smelter, Lionelville, First Train, Serious Handbrake. Organic Mountain Pass, Jader's Ghost. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't remember which one that was. I think it might have been... I don't know. I can't guess. It was one of the later episodes. It might have been Escape from the Smelter, Part 1 and 2, because I remember it was a two-parter. Man, I'm so distracted. Anyway, if Matt... I'm just sad that the TTOML didn't get used. I'm not! I'm glad! It spared my... Can you imagine how operationally annoying that would have been? I'm sure... I mean, I've witnessed it on the WWF. At least there isn't a problem in real life where you need to get every available man to push on the side of of BNSR 7 to get it to rotate 10 degrees. That's not what I want in Railroads Online, or any game for that matter. I will not be putting a TTOML on this map, so help me God. Now that I say that, I realize I should probably find a place for one, shouldn't I? It's too funny to pass up. No, I don't want to do that. No. Let's stop that thought before it starts. I'm not doing that. There will be no TTOML on Tolbrand. Okay. Hi, Vankman. Okay. Okay. What's next? We have this. We need to figure out our grid for this. Come on, Ellis. Suffer for your enthusiasm. Do it for the bit. The content needs it. Oh, God. Does it, though? Does it? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think it does. So let's talk lore, maybe? Uh-oh. Do you think you're going to build a wigwag? I think I have a wigwag somewhere. I think there's one in Olive. Let's go find it. I bet you I know where it is. I think it's where the main road crosses the 4-track main. Come on, load in everything so that I can see. No, that's not a wigwag. Damn it. Okay, I definitely have one somewhere. It's not right there. There are only so many signalized crossings in Tolbrand, and one of them definitely has a wigwag. There's one at Ashbury Ranch. Thank you. Yes. That's not Ashbury Ranch. It's the next place up. Wait for it. Yeah, there we go. We do have a wigwag here. And this one still works because ATLS. Anyway, yeah, so I've got one. I love this area. I love Ashbury Ranch. I wish the driving in Trainz was good enough to make me want to drive a train and like struggle up this mountain. I wish I could take Tolbrand and throw it into Derail Valley and drive up the mountain. Like, that's what I need in life. I need a game with route building and a really good Steam sim. And that isn't just hopelessly broken, like the one game that has a route building and a half decent Steam sim. So yeah, no, I think I need that. I need that in my bones. Okay, so this whole area is going to be trees and shrubs and grasses all the way up to the road, actually. So we're going to make a note of... Oops, what was that? We're going to make a note of that by just drawing that there. And eliminating the rest of this line. Oops. There we go. Am I going to release this map? The idea was always to make it compatible with DLS. Everything here is not third-party, at least. If you have all the Trainz DLC, or at least like a Trainz Plus membership, you will be able to download and play this map. And that's sort of the kicker. It's there are versions on the DLS. Tolbrand, Tolbrynd. Tolbrynd. Tolbrand. There are versions of it on the DLS, but they go up to like here at the greatest extent, I'm pretty sure. You should make an old prehistoric lava flow instead of fields for a bit. Few buildings and roads, but hardly any fields or trees. I don't... Well, isn't like lava flow soil like rich in nutrients or something? I love the TTOML concept, but it would only make sense if you had a very wide but short area that wouldn't be suitable for a switch lane. Don't give me ideas. Okay, so we're gonna measure, and we're gonna align this with this grid because I hate myself. So these squares can be very dusty, hard to work. I see. I did have areas. Okay, so it's 1325 feet, right? Because that's a quarter mile. Okay, so let's. It's a quarter mile ish. Let's do 1325 plus 2 would be 2650. $26.50. $26.50 and 270 degrees. Oh, wrong way. Of course, it's smack dab in the middle here. You know what? Let's just go a mile. Okay. I wish I could hide the trees for a second. Could be tough. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's fair. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I like where your head's at, just to break up the monotony, but I don't want to figure that out. Maybe I'll do that in a different area. I think I know what this area needs to look like. I might do it up on the I might do it up on the branch line there. Can you still see my screen? No. I might do it up on the branch line there. Okay. So let's figure this out in 25. But I appreciate the thinking, right? So this map will not work without premium. No, it should work. It should still work. I just don't know what I have and what I don't. That's the problem. I don't know what, like, because I have Trainz Plus, it just gave me a bunch of assets, um, and I can't tell them apart from, like, built-in or, for the most part, DLS assets. So I am hesitant uh, to say that you will have everything, but you should still have most things. The only a handful of only some of the stuff is packaged. The rest of it is DLS, and a lot of it is DLS. So it should still work in theory. I can't promise anything. I'm not going to promise anything in terms of what will be missing, but you'll at least have all the track and all the industries, um, and probably pretty much all of the trains too. So I wouldn't worry too much about it not working if you can get it off the DLS. Okay, whatever. That's yeah. Okay. So it's got to line up with here. I've got to grab a chunk of landscape and go with it. There is some way to turn off having that stuff in a specific route. I didn't know that. That's good to know. I feel like I'm a little bit past the point of no return with that, so I'm gonna just have to suck it up and keep going. Because last time I went and tried to fix that, which was the changeover from Tane to 2019 to 2022, it was annoying, and I don't want to do it again. So, and it was mostly out of a hope of doing old school Trainz multiplayer on this, which I'm not even sure is going to be possible. It's such a pain. So I think at the bottom line, what I'm shooting for is setting this up as like the biggest single player experience that looks nice. All right, hold on. Undo that. I do want those. Nope. Slide it over one time. One thing. Is that lined up? That's probably as good as it's going to get. Okay, so we've got that. Um, we've got that. So we're going to need fields over there. Let's grab a couple more chunks of field. Probably these four look good. And we're going to need to redo most of the... We're going to need to redo most of the splines anyway, so I'm not afraid of grabbing this road spline that we don't need. But I do want to keep the splines. Mason's always noticing things I never would have caught. Okay. Yeah, okay. I've definitely done this sort of pattern before, haven't I? I think I've done it almost exactly. No, because that cornfield, or whatever it is, has almost never been over there. So, okay. Whatever, I'll take it. I want some greener ones. Is there a block of very green fields? There's these two. One of those is the dark one. What about these down here? Let's grab this. Oh, that one's a brown one. Let's grab these 6. I don't need as many fallow fields right now. Not looking for them. Okay. I mean, there is a way to turn off the DLCs, just like in general. Although, when I was really getting stuff going, I don't know how it is out east, but I hear you'd have a lot more creeks, low spots that don't dry, and swampy woods to break up the farm fields a bit. Yeah, and you're not wrong. That's why I've been throwing in these rivers and things. Um, and this isn't really a good model of out east. This is a model of, like, Iowa. But I suppose out there, that's probably more similar to Michigan than New England is. Where's a high voltage power line when you need it? The thing with that is extra stuff, mega detail. But you're right. I mean, there should be more. There should be more stuff to break it up. I was trying to. I mean, these areas are very irregular fields. You've got a river cutting through it. River cutting through it. Then you have this, which is just like full-on monotony until you get to this here. And you're right. There should be some like sort of tributaries or at least irrigation or runoff ditches pointing in the direction of the river. Um, but I don't think I'm going to do that because it's a lot of extra work. But a valid and salient and important point that I should have thought of when I was doing this originally. So this side of the road is a little bit tougher because it's in the middle and going diagonally. So we may have a return to sort of these kinds of fields on this side. It's pretty monotony, but passing it at 78 will send it by pretty quickly. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's what 15 miles, 20 miles. I mean, at track speed, you're through it in less than half an hour. Not that it'd be cool. Not to say that I want you to build this map idea, but it would be cool if someone made the Wisconsin Southern Railway complete with the railroad's locomotives. Doing railroad-specific locomotives is always a hurdle. I've always wanted to do a DEM route, taking real terrain and going with it. But I've never, I don't know, I guess I've never had it in me. I've always had other mega projects on the table, like this one, for example, where I haven't. All right, we're done staring at that. Where I just haven't. I haven't buckled down and said like, okay, no, I'm gonna go start a DEM route now, because it's a lot of extra work. It's it's an additional thing for me to do. I'm only gonna do one mega project at a time. I've always said that if Tolbrind died for whatever reason, if I lost to this map, I would probably go do a DEM route. I don't know what of, but something. Either that, or I would just end up dedicating myself wholly to MPS, or I'd go make my own MPS with blackjack and hookers and figure that one out with a DEM. But the thing with MPS is I can't do what I really want to do, which is set up the industries, because they don't have that working yet. Alright, so this is going to be one field. They don't have that working yet, so I've been kind of disinterested. What I want to do is automation. What I want to do is playing with stuff. But honestly, with the current state of the industry UI, I can't do that in either version of the game. So I would probably, I mean, I might go back to the modular. A long, long time ago, I would do. I set up a thing called the Iron Horseman Modular Railroad, which there are still echoes of that pinned in the fake model railroading channel on the Discord. Links in the description. Oh, and buy trading cards. Links in the description for theironhorseman.com, where you can buy our Steam Locomotive trading cards. I should be saying that more than 0 times per stream. Yeah, Matt has way more experience with this than I do. Just everyone just read what Matt just wrote. Yeah, very little chance specific buildings exist, much less specific locomotives and rolling stock and whatever. I mean, rolling stock in a given era, you can get away with like throwing down a ratio, right? Like, oh, 10% Pennsy cars, like X% New Haven cars, X% Illinois Central cars, that sort of thing. You can just take the hodgepodge. You take what you can get. And I think, the New England Berkshire and Western was actually pretty. They tried to do this with the freight cars on the layout. We tried to do this with the freight cars on the layout. If Mew was here, he would probably remember. I think there was the rule of thumb that like 10% of all freight cars are PRR, and like that wasn't an exaggeration. That was just based on sheer numbers. So we made sure, okay, 10%, give or take, of the freight cars on the layout are labeled for the Pennsylvania Railroad, and then look at the other railroads and sort of figure out their percentages. The fellow who was basically de facto head of the NEB&W, John Narich, he knew everything about everything. And he could probably tell you what all those percents were because he had studied them for year after year. He knew. And in going through something like that, like Matt just said, you learn a ton. I mean, I learned a ton doing... If anyone here has not gone and watched the citation needed on the bridge killing bridge, please do. Please do. If you know nothing about it, like literally nothing at all, you might be surprised whose faces you see. Or whose face you see. I don't know if you'd be surprised by Jersey. Spoiler. Can I grab that spline point, please? Thank you. So, yeah. Go watch that. I learned a lot, like way too much doing research for that. And there are even some things additionally that I didn't know. There are some videos and pictures that I hadn't seen, hadn't heard about, didn't know existed. One of the comments, I think it might be the top comment of the video right now, is like a correction. It's a correction, and it explains that the trolley bridge fell on its own accord, but that there's video of it, which is crazy. And yeah, I mean, just check it out for that alone. Learn to decipher tax documents. That's always fun. Taxes are very fun. Somebody in the comments was saying that there is video of the trolley bridge getting swamped. But yeah, I haven't seen the video, but that's what I was told. And I do want to see the video, I just haven't looked it up yet. Haven't had the time. My life's been completely insane. To go back to the up until 6 a.m. babysitting pumps 2 nights ago. Completely insane. It's a miracle I'm here. I really didn't want to be here. I wanted to work on Tolbrand, but I was like, I do not have the energy to make a stream. And I was like, suck it up, Buttercup, to myself. Suck it up, go make the stream. You know you want to. And I did. I was just tired. Also, I had one of those moments at work where I feel like most people who have like a job understand this sentiment of like, if I have to do this thing that I'm doing right now for 5 more minutes, I'm going to kill someone. Like, change my task. Let me do something else. And I basically said that in not those kinds of words, but I said something to the effect of like, does anyone need work because I have this that I'm doing and I could use help? And to his credit, my supervisor was like, "Oh yeah, such and such can help you with that." And I was just like, "Oh, thank God. Oh, thank you. Okay." But it was close enough to 5 o'clock that I didn't really end up getting anything else done anyway. I just sort of put some thought into what I'm going to have to do tomorrow on a different project. But I was just so like it was 4 o'clock, and I was just so worn down. I was so ready to just be like, "All right, I'm done today. Like, let me do nothing else." Um, but no, I sucked it up and ended up doing this anyway, which I'm glad, because good progress. Progress is progress. I hate it when the weeks go by where I don't make under construction because I'm too busy. And it's not even because I miss doing the stream and conversing with all of you, which is a fact. I do miss doing the stream and conversing with all of you. But the thing that weighs on me is like, oh god, well that's another week of progress that I'm not going to get back. Like I can't roll back time. Um, I can't turn back time. So I'm just going to have to accept the fact that that time that I would have spent on Tollprint is gone. I had to do something else with it. How are we going to do this? So, like, this is its own thing. Uh, and then what? This is its own thing, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then maybe this whole field. Because these are like half fields, as we've seen before. Um, unless I want to do this whole field, but I just put that dirt road across it, so I've told myself no. Um, I'm thinking about looking up tutorials for how to build your first dem for the WRS, but make it will be too hard. You need somebody with a license to do the dem. Like the Trainz dem is a paid program, and there are a couple folks in the Discord that can make dems. I just don't know if they've done it lately. All right, let's hold on. Can I have constant search filter? I'm wondering if there are any field textures that I haven't used. What about this one? What does this look like? It looks not great, but not terrible. The problem is I can see the tiling, and that's not what I want. I need to not see the tiling. Yo, I wasn't going to say who it was, Matt. Reduce the fields, add untamed prairie. So, we'll probably do that beyond this, because I'm dead tired of fields. Like grazing landscape and stuff like that. If I look at the map, we are going from Bellington. As we go east, we're going to run into some hills and a little mountain range that we're going to punch through, and then into a more substantial mountain range. Ah, I need to have some more inspiration for that sort of thing. Nope, that looks terrible. That's not half bad, but I can still kind of see the tiling. Hmm. That's the other thing. I sadly I don't have enough inspiration for what that looks like. I mean, farm fields are very straightforward. Um, I mean, if somebody wants to throw stuff in the if somebody wants to throw stuff in the VUT in the chat, you know, or in the Tolbrin thread for me to look at, then you know, the people that know what this looks like and know what the right the right photo the right look is. Blah. Wow, words. This is a consequence of me having eaten nothing today. I didn't. I wanted to get some stuff done. Life has been abject chaos, like I said. I wanted to get some stuff done, so I was like, you know what? If it's the choice between making dinner and doing these chores, I'm gonna do the chores because I can't let them sit another day. And I didn't want to eat during the stream because I hate eating during the stream, and we don't have the AI to watch because the AI is broken. Okay. Um, there. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. It looks like some sort of, like, I don't want to say rug, like blanket. I'm gonna go and look at what Mason posted. Oh yeah, you can see that the 6th Street was the route. Because it's so wide. And then the other thing that Mason posted is this place in Michigan where yes, you can tell that this is this long diagonal main street, right? And it's called I-94 Emergency Route. Yeah, I mean this. I wish I had a view of this in the springtime because right now it looks like winter. Like everything is dead in the satellite view of this area of Michigan. And I mean, I think I should angle towards this going from Bellington. I should try to model that because we've done the Iowa. Now it's time to do the Michigan. I mean, I do like the way this, you know, this looks, where it's just flat as a pancake. But Mason is right. And if I was smarter, I would carve out more chunks. Okay. Should look at Heat Death Survival Train. They currently have a demo out. Heat Death Survival Train. Never heard of that. I assume it's some sort of survival game. Okay. So let's put this in here. There we go. Okay. This. And I should extend this road to the trackside, huh? So now that we know where the edges of the double half fields are going to be, we need to mark them out with the road, like so. I'm going to try to keep it as cardinal as I can to not lose my mind. The other thing is, the areas that I'm looking at, or the areas that I was just looking at on the map, seem to have some degree, like they have a degree of randomness, and I'm a human, I'm bad at random. And that's not an excuse, and I'm extending these roads when I don't need to. This one doesn't need to go. Oh. Oh, what? Is this a spline for this? No. Okay. Do that. Nope, that one didn't need to get cut. I don't know why I cut that one. This one needs to get cut. This is my problem. This is me losing it. Some degree of randomness, and I'm going to have to sort of look at that very closely to understand how it works. I mean, I will assume that area of Michigan is as flat as a pancake, and the rivers. I mean, the river is very meandery. That's the other thing that I feel like people, including myself, tend to miss with Trainz routes, is how big geographical features are. You know, like these hills are all very small. They don't have a lot of prominence. They don't stick out from their surroundings very much. They are just sort of there. All right, let's see. What can we put over here? We have stuff that we usually use, but I want to use something that I have but does not usually touch this. Or maybe I'll just suck it up and use this one. Should be the next 3 comments from me. Google Maps coordinates for some prairies coming up. I'm also going to repost. Oh, Mason did it already. Mason beat me to it. Thank you, Mason. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use this one. The Seamless Farmland. Why? Because I like the look of it. Nope. Rotate that 90 degrees. Okay. I want to mark this out using this because it's something that I haven't usually used up against the tracks because I feel like it's too common, but that's randomness for you, and this is why people are bad at it. It's why humans are bad at it. Because you sort of resist true random. You think random means scattered. You think random means your Spotify playlist doesn't play 2 songs by the same artist back to back to come back to that thing that we've talked about so many times. That's not what random means. And if I wanted to be random, I could color by numbers and do it. And honestly, I might for the prairie area. I might figure out some sort of arrangement of roads and things and sort of color by number with a random number generator. I think it would work. The issue is I can't understand the backstory. I can't understand the logic. Like I look up at I look up at the things that got posted, right? And holy crap. Those the Tetons? I mean, that's some serious terrain elevation in what you just posted, Orion. The Laramie River. And this is too, aside from the area by the river, this is too dry. I'll probably have to do that kind of thing when it comes to, and nobody else can see what I'm looking at. Hold on, I'm going to do this for a sec. Yeah, these are all much too dry for these areas. This is something that I'm going to have to put up here in this vicinity. That's good sort of advice for this. Because this is supposed to be high desert, dry area, that sort of thing. But it's very pretty. That's for sure. Couldn't find any near the Great Lakes. Well, that's the thing, right? Is where I'm trying to model is high precipitation areas, and that's sort of where the disconnect is right now, I guess. Because what I need to look at is Michigan and areas of Pennsylvania more closely, and not Iowa so much. I need to look at places where there is a little bit more variation. I need to get away from Kansas and Nebraska, and or at least the stereotype thereof, and start really looking at the variation in these places and how to apply that. We need something a little bit more. We, we need something a little bit less restrained. We need something a little bit more random, a little bit more um, dynamic than this. And originally I was going to do like periodic tree breaks and stuff like that. Instead, I ended up doing a bunch more rivers um, and things like that, like this stretch here with the trees and everything. Uh, Sounds like you need to look up Lancaster County. Yeah, and I did. I took a good deal of inspiration from Lancaster County, but I didn't take all of the idiosyncrasies. I was missing something even though I was staring right at it. And that's sort of the thing. I'm not used to this. This is my first attempt at these kind of areas. And the thing is, terrain, just in general, geography, topology, is more varied and more fractal in nature than anything that we can really think of. You know, I'm gonna look up these coordinates as well. Um, yeah, this is no, fold that up. This is something more like it. I mean, there are more trees than farms in this area, uh, and I had gone all the way to way more farms than trees. You know, we're talking like Arlington, Indiana, or Fairmont, Indiana. Uh, I went straight to Indiana. I did not go through Pennsylvania in terms of my terraining. Um, but that's the thing. There are places where it is damn near homogeneous. It's pretty close anyway. I mean, you're no more than a couple miles from a river at any given time. And that's the way it is here too, but it's still less fractal. And part of that is I don't want to wrestle with Trainz to try to make the most granular little streams. Um, I don't want to spend my whole life out here in the fields. Um, so a lot of the scenery is simplified, and I will admit that this is not a. How did I mess this up again? This is not a perfect route. This is not a diorama. You know, this is me making a very large route and skimping on some of it. That's not an excuse, but it is just the way it be. I'm going to open these and I'll look at them later from Orion, or this last one. Just to get it open, just to have it open, I'm going to put it in my set of tabs. What is this? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's very swampy. Um, I've, I've walked through stuff like that last one. But yeah, no, that's definitely inspiration. The last one you sent me, Orion, I love that. Um, it feels almost like Pine Barrens. Maybe I should model that as well. What if I get some Pine Barrens in when we get closer to shore? I don't know what uh, sort of geologic factors make Pine Barrens happen, but I could look into that. And just get our own little slice of New Jersey. That's what you wanted, right? That's what everybody wants. Not. Okay. It's 9:05 and I feel like it's 11 p.m. I might not make it through the whole video, guys. I might not make it. Alright, so let's do that dark brown one that we really like down this fallow field. The next couple I would have sent are obviously clear cuts, so I decided not to send them due to that. That's fair. Um, though that doesn't, that still might have been a thing. I don't feel like something being a clear cut is necessarily precludes it from uh, making sense in this area. Especially if we are gonna go with Pine Barrens, say, or let me do this. Um, Say in like this area here or this area here, as we because this area is still going to be very much fields, fields and maybe a little bit of grazing land. Um, Probably more grazing land as you get away from the rivers. Maybe up here in Mansfield and Douglas, you'd see more of it. Um, and it begs the question why there was never a railroad put up through here. So I might have to nix that river. Um, yeah, I think I'll end up blocking this in here. Let's do this now that we're thinking about it. Um, Here, delete, 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 delete that. And then we will have some extra mountains in there at some point. I'm already using black. Let's grab shape, nope, grab triangle. This. Yep, that'll deter people. Although we could always run a highway through there. We have this one here, and then we have the interstate that's coming down this way. Um, I think it might make sense to do like a proper highway junction here. Um, for this, I mean, if you're going from Olive to Bellington, you're gonna come up here and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, or you're gonna come over here and you're gonna do something else because there's no bridge at Mason's Landing. Um, Probably because they would need to put a draw span in, and they're not interested in doing that. So they went around the long way over the old railroad right-of-way, and then they came down into South Bellington. But the other thing that makes sense to me is if they also would continue in this direction, sort of near Randall and Mansfield, or at least, you know, dodged them, right? Because this would be a much newer highway construction. Um, and then punched through here and came down into Gilson City. So if we want to grab road here, this kind of road, this highway, it's a question of like, do I want to run this through the towns because it's an upgraded state route, or do I want to just call it an interstate and uh, actually then that would even make more sense for the big passenger terminal being in Bellington. If you have this, like this is one of the largest suburbs and you're building the interstate in so that people can commute into Gilson City. Because like this is another major road. These are both interstates. You can see the dark and gray lines here. It's like, do I call this the I mean, why did they build this to interstate standards, over the mountain pass and everything, and not this, right? So maybe we downgrade this road and we come in this way through this little mountain pass gap that I just sort of got rid of. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna get rid of those. Because I think I'm onto something, and I'm gonna hide. I want to hide some things, but for now we'll leave it. Because I was wondering when we would first encounter the interstates, and this is the first one. And it doesn't go through Olive because I didn't feel like doing that. Uh, I think I want to pull it over this way and run it through Jefferson proper instead of having it do this, because it's the 1950s and they're running interstates through cities. Let me... Hold on. Why is this my... Oh! That makes sense. So now we're working on the map, which I needed a pause. I needed a pause, otherwise I was going to lose my mind. So we're doing road stuff now. I'm going to grab this. We're going to bring it through downtown Jefferson. Jefferson is sort of Bostonian in concept. Not that we will ever see it. It's like a combination of Boston and Portland, Maine, being it is where it is. And I'm going to just run this like this. I don't know what Gloria's watching, but I can hear screaming. Anyway. Alright, let's get rid of this one. This would be your 295 to your 95, but it would be a... Once again, I talk about things being very small, right? It would be a very small sort of diversionary route, and I'm only really caring about where the interstates go. And this would go towards Golgora, I guess, on the coast. Because this is to Temeros, that goes onto the TVRR at Temeros, and this goes onto the TVRR at Anaconda, which I probably showed off those maps in a video a very, very long time ago. But, yeah. So instead of coming down and going through Olive and trying to build a bridge across Mason's Landing, they went up here and they built the highway, a more southerly route, into Bellington and South Bellington, which, if I can grab just this part and bucket that... Oh, you know what? No, not even that part. I want to grab this part and bucket this. Okay. Because now I want to draw this highway. Because this is going to matter with what we're doing. I want to draw this highway. I intend to have a trumpet junction there. And then this is going to just come across the plains. And the question is, do I sort of juke it through Mansfield or Douglas? Do I relocate Douglas to be down here, in, where the interstate is, so that we actually get to see it? Or what, I feel like I should relocate Douglas. Also, let me make sure that people are talking. Hey, East. I am focused on... I'm drawing some highways. That's what's up. Let's try to follow this as best we can. I'm gonna have to get some inspiration from New Hampshire. Maybe this will be like through the Crawford Notch or something, down to one lane each direction. But I really don't want to do that. Let's move Douglas down to like right here, and then just do that with the interstate. Oops. So, can I do this in one line? No. No, I need more spline points than this. Okay. There, Come on. Like right there? How's that? And this will just see each other. And okay, let's move. Let's go to Legend, which I think we can move Douglas. Oops. Douglas down onto where the highway is. And then we will do our best to... Okay, I need to grab the purple guy. Nope. Railroad. Need to grab it from Railroad. Should have noticed that our color turned to blank. And then I need to justify this right angle turn, but that's a problem for a different day. Yeah, there we go. Maybe to avoid this set of hills. Maybe I can add another little mountain there. See, ridgeline. Let me just grab this one. There we go. Now it's justified. Okay, so we have our interstate, at least into Gilson City, and I'm not going to draw in the whole thing. So I might end up... One of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time is mark off sort of biomes. Like, make a layer for biomes and mark them off as in, like, this is forests, this is plains or farms, this is plains or whatever, this is pine barrens, this is, like, built-up metropolitan area, right? Like, this is suburbs and downtowns and, you know, whatever. That's something I've been meaning to do for a substantial amount of time. But that's a whole thing. That's like a whole episode in itself, and it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of speculation. Also, it sets a lot of things in stone that I'm not really ready to set, you know? I don't want to figure out all this stuff right now. I want to learn as we go. Figuring out the Pine Barrens and things, that's something, right? That's a lot of work. All right, we're going to relabel this through the mountains as like a different major road and not an interstate. So bear with me while I do that. I also need to check on the comments. I-420 would call them interstates make sense. Tolbern hasn't been established. No, I mean, you're right. They aren't necessarily interstates by definition, but I don't think it's wrong to call them interstates, at least for our own understanding. That what I mean is this road is up to what we would consider interstate standards. We're talking about fully grade separated, you know. So, I mean, you could just call them major and minor highways if you wanted to. So, the thing that plugs into Bellington is a minor highway. And then this thing that goes through the, that goes across the mountain, or, you know, this is a minor highway, and then the road that plugs in there is a major highway. But then I feel like we actually have a ton of other minor highways, because this isn't that minor. I mean, it's like 4 lanes. It goes through the whole thing, and I didn't even finish marking off where this went. It goes like this. Like this, I think, right? Something like this. Because it stays on this side of the tracks. Until like down here, right? No, it crosses back over. When does it cross back over? Now I gotta go look in Trainz. Does it cross over down here? Because I was thinking it goes from one side to the other. It does. And then it's on the outside, and then it's... Where is it? It's right here along the shopping plaza, and then it ducts into the middle. Okay, that's what was confusing me, because it honestly it goes into the middle there. Um, so yeah, I mean those are major high. Oh no, I paint bucketed and I filled in all the highways with the undo that. There. Now I'm kind of annoyed that it flood moded all of this stuff. I don't know why it would have done that actually. Uh, if I flood mode that, it flood modes everything? No, why? Because this is the same? Oh no, because it's just similar enough. Um, okay, there we go. Now we can do this for real. Uh, now that I know where it is, I won't have to deliberate again. This side. I'd like to be able to sort of navigate around Tolbrand using the roads, and honestly, I kind of want to put in a series of small roads that mirror all the little paved roads that are around. I want to put that on a layer too, but it would get very, very messy very quickly. Um, it would definitely help me though. It would help me keep my head on straight. Um, now we don't know where this goes. This goes to the coast, right? Because it turns right. Oh, right. Okay, I moved this. That's right. I moved this. Check on the comments. Um, exchange your cheap defective RC car. Oh, good luck. Oh, I missed your comment about the. Missed your comment about your Christmas. I wanted to say something about that. Um. All right, so we're gonna cross this here, and then it ducks across this here, and then I would assume just goes pretty much straight to the coast. And we'll call this something harbor. Does anyone have a reference or idea for a town over here? Legend. I'll give people time to think on that while I actually get the dot in place. It's going to be something harbor, I bet, or something close to, because I mean it can't be that big. It doesn't have a train, but it does have this highway, so. Maybe at one point it did, but I don't really want to add another branch here. I'm thinking this is some sort of relatively new resort destination type of town. It'd be odd to not have a train connection, though. But I don't want to do that up here. But I should. Scope creep. That's the thing. We have a relatively small port at Mason's Landing, because this is like the equivalent of uh, the equivalent of uh, like the mouth of the Thames River in Connecticut with Old Saybrook, um, which just doesn't have like the waterfront because the river is too wide or whatever. It wasn't suitable for a deep water port. Um, and then we have a little port up here, but I don't think that's going to be it. I just I don't know how I could justify this road heading off in this direction and not a train line. I mean, this is only, what, 5 miles from the shore? Yeah, it's got to be like 5 miles. Um, Far Harbor, Arthur's Gamble. Those are both very good. I mean, Far Harbor is a great reference. Um, I'm just gonna go look at. I'm gonna go look at the equivalent, which 5 miles. 5 miles from the shore is not very far. We're talking like Greenbush, you know. Um, no, sorry, much farther than that. Let's see. Let's see. Um, Biddeford is up here along the river, and this is sort of what I was curious about, and that's 5 miles from the shore here. And I mean, yeah, I mean, what have we got? A we've got Camp Ellis, which doesn't have a rail line. It doesn't look like it ever. Oh, you know what? I bet you it probably did because the Boston and Maine probably had one. So let's go look. Um, from Saco. Let's go look. Saco. Uh, Not quite, but it went in this direction from Old Orchard Beach. Although no, this is the like the older routing, huh? But it's like Fort Hill or something. Um, oh, a fort. That's a half decent reason for that. Um, I like Arthur's Gamble. I'm gonna go with that. Oops. Legend. Let's go with black. Let's go 8-point font, bold. No, sorry, 10-point font. And this town is here because of some kind of fort. Also, it could be like a. It could be like a. There used to be a street railway, and then that no longer exists, and this is like a. I mean, Arthur's Gamble. Maybe it's like an Atlantic City type. You take the train into Bellington, and then you take the streetcar or the whatever. In the 1950s, you take the gambler's shuttle, and there's all the casinos down there or something. Uh, Maybe that's where maybe gambling is illegal in Gilson City, but not at Arthur's. It's their equivalent of Mohegan Sun. Uh, that's a Connecticut. Connecticut and Rhode Island people will get that. Um, anyway, look how much progress we made. Man. Okay. Still got so much to do. All right. Well, let's change gears for just a minute then, and let's talk about this because yesterday or not yesterday, whatever. Last week, I saw this, or I moved this over here to get out of the way, and I realized something in the meantime. I really like it here. So we need to start where we need to continue working on the industry layout for this place. And we have our icing track. We have our uh, we have our armor or Amron company thing. Um, we need a we need our tannery place, and that would probably be this. Um, and I was torn as to whether I should run it off of this track and have this like come off and go to the right. But really, it makes more sense for me to do this. It makes more sense to me for me to do this and run this from here and then just curve it right in. I mean, I already put that spline there, but like that. I'm now hearing triumphant music. I really want to know what Gloria is watching. Okay, so if anyone who ever watches this video knows what Amren's meatpacking plan is a reference to, say so immediately. I need more people to talk to about that. Um, anyway, okay, so I have to scoot this back more because the curve is too sharp. Or at least it feels too sharp to me. I should just get rid of this spline point and let Trainz do what it wants to do, because it's not working with my help. So I need to just let it do its thing. Okay, so we crossed the road there. The other thing we need probably is some kind of power. I know we have this coal track here for like the town, but do we want to throw down like the world's smallest coal-fired power plant in this vicinity? Um, because we could. We have some little power plants. There are some little power plants that exist. Um, but I like this. And I want to connect this with another building. This tannery here. Or at least I want to use some other buildings in this instead of it being a sort of a one-trick thing. I'm slouching, huh? I'm sinking out the bottom of the screen. Sit up properly. No wonder my back hurts all the time, huh? Okay. There. And I'm going to sink this just a little bit because I don't really want to see the whole foundation. And if I could get a warehouse piece that actually connects the two of them, that would also be great. So what if I just use another one of these? What if I take this, rotate it so it's 90 degrees, 180, put it in the middle, and then lower it like 3 stories. Oh, fudge. Right there. Tell me it's not sticking out that side. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have to relocate them both slightly, but this is a good start. I don't want to see the windows sticking out of the bottom. Okay, so we can't see those, but seeing this window is also unacceptable, so can I... Lesser of two evils, I'd rather not see this window than the other one. Than those two, because those are just like basement arches now. And I need to scoot it back so that it's not stuck in between windows of the other building. I'm not chopping windows in half. I need to pull it this way so that it's lined up with that as best I can. Then I need to shift this building around so that it's lined up with it properly. Okay. We've got that. I feel like we should also have some sort of tanks back here. For what, I am uncertain, but something. What do you use at a tannery? Let's see, what can fill the space in? This is what I'm thinking about now. I also was throwing down like the gasometer stuff over here, and this isn't really where I want to keep it, but it works. It's quite nice, and I want to use it. The fact that we've just got buildings strewn everywhere is not really helping my sanity, or anything else for that matter. I don't know what to do with this. This feels like... I mean, it's warehouses of some description. But it's definitely not like a cold storage warehouse kind of warehouse, or like a come get food here kind of warehouse. So I don't really know what to do with it. This is gonna stay here. The grocery store. I still don't know what to do with this space. I'm just gonna move these buildings out of here so that I can think. And we've got 20 minutes to figure it out. Otherwise the bomb goes off. So I'm gonna put this in the back lot of this building. I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but I'm gonna put it here along with a couple of gasometers. Street running needs to happen somewhere. That's a very good point. We don't have any street running in this town yet. I think we will in the older sections, where there's less space along the riverside here. I'm surprised I haven't started allocating mill buildings to these spaces, because I have quite a few of them. But, you know, it's something that I've got to work out. The other thing is, like, we do need... The mills on this side of the river are going to need to get service somehow. So, will that be via street running? That's a good question. Now, we have this, this track here, but this is not a street running candidate. We're not going to get street running out of this. This is going to be the one track out of two tracks that was supposed to be on this elevated sort of causeway. And it's got some grade crossings and some not grade crossings. It's sort of half done grade separation. The closest thing we have to street running right now is this effing intersection. Which has got to be so annoying to switch, because look at that. You're trying to shunt the yard out here and you keep blocking traffic on a friggin' highway. God. Okay. There might be some street running on this, even if it's not much, because they would have moved the tracks off. You might have something that goes on and then just comes off right away. Obviously, we can't do it on the major highway. Okay. This effing place. I love how cramped this is. Genuinely, I love how cramped it is. It feels nice. So in this complex, put in a gasometer in the back, and maybe one of these like gasworks buildings. I'll move this closer to the thing. Or maybe let's let's swap the positions of these two. And rotate it so that the pipes are facing in a way that I would expect. Actually, let's put it on a skew. I'm gonna put this right here. Okay. So we have this area. I'm gonna start moving, like, gonna start trying to get buildings out of the way when I'm done with an area, so that I can feel like I'm done with the area, and I'm not constantly looking at these other buildings. Um, Now we do need, like I said last time, we need to figure out some other industries here. Um, so icing tracks. Um, Cement plant, feed mill, bread factory. Um, and honestly, I mean, I could take cues from Turner's Falls here. I could start throwing down, um, like paper mill bits, sugar mill bits. There wouldn't really be a reason to have a paper mill here. That's just not what's in the neighborhood. Um, but we've got the meat packing plant here. We could have a cannery. We could have a um, let's see. I need to think about things that aren't in OpenTDD specifically. Um, let's see. What I mean, we can have textiles, um, especially with the leather here. Hmm. I'm gonna call this FH Tannery to go with Marine Troopers Far Harbor recommendation. Um, I said I wanted to have some sort of internal road here. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the way this looks, and we could have some very tight quarters housing along these roads. Um, I also want this to sort of lead into an industrial area. Uh, if we can have an industry or two along this stretch, or along here even, um, but I don't know how you would get across the highway other than just panic. Let's see. Can we get the terrain figured out on this set of tracks here? Oh, whoops. I want track. Oh, it's 69 even. Nice. Okay, we've got to go down so that we make the road. There. There. Well, that didn't screw with that too much. It did not. Let's also set the height for the road. That that evens it out a little bit. That's nice. Um, what is the height of the track when we get over here? 72, huh? Okay. So we need to figure this out because that's not good. 7270. Okay, well, That's a start. What is the height of that? 70, 50. Okay. So if I level that out a little bit, just to get the crossing squared away, then I grab this and I apply it to that, it's going to be, yeah. Okay, so that's a mess. That's not what I want at all. I would like a steady sort of rise from here to there, if I can help it. But worst case scenario, we will just have to play it by ear and figure it out. So these two, and then it climbs through that to get to that, and this, which those are all on the level now. So that's probably fine. I just want to check what is the gradient on this. 119. Okay, that's not bad at all. I will take that. So with these sort of set up, I'm going to put in the terrain. I just a place that we filmed at the PW local Miu Graham and Hem. Oh yeah, that was up. I remember where that was. And yeah, I'm trying to take cues from that area as well as some other areas. Now, I don't know about squeezing a factory building in on this corner, but I would like to. Hello, Virgo. You're here just in time to see the last 10 minutes of the stream or so, and hopefully I will be able to figure out where to put some industries. Now this is a really, really good looking building, and on top of that, it fits in this space. So if we can flatten this area out enough to basically allow some truck bays on the backside here, then I think we're golden with this. I will have some kind of industry here. So Virgo asks, what are we working on? I can give the potted summary, which is that we did a little bit of the scenery around this area. We mostly just got some more fields in so we could try to make headway in this direction. It's still pretty rough. And then I came through and I did a whole bunch of... I did a little bit of road tweaks over there, and I'm trying to get the track and stuff squared away over here and figure out what I might put in this area along the river. What am I doing for industries? I don't know what this is going to be. Some kind of food factory, I would imagine. Alright, grab that, and then let's plateau tool this with a higher sensitivity than we've been using for the rest of the day, because I need to leave enough space back here. And I think I'm going to end up using some retaining walls for this, because we just don't have enough space to give the appropriate like drop-off to get to the river. But, you know, it's a start. Yeah, definitely some retaining walls, and then some ground, maybe some ground pieces, actually. Okay, so let's find a retaining wall that we like this one. Oh yeah, and that has plenty of ground behind it, too. Grab that height, use it over here. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough, and it's going to look convincing enough, like there would be enough space for trucks to pull up here and go to these truck bays, right? It doesn't look great, but it looks fine. And we will adjust the river so that it's wide enough over here. Not that it the other thing we need to do is we need to get the Turner's Falls Industrial Park esque, or Power Canal esque, like really cheapo looking bridges. The bridges that are just like for employees to get from one side of the complex on one side of the river to the other. Um, that's what we need. Let's Can we put this just right up to there and make it look good? Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Um, the thing is, I wish it was a little bit taller, especially because this thing is still floating. So we're gonna do something a little bit more extreme. We're gonna use the use height tool instead of the plateau tool to get this to the height that we want. Um, and then blah, blah, blah. we will we will make good on the rest of this with some more plateau tool and stuff later. We'll smooth it out, make it a little bit better. I think this is on 5-meter grid. If it wasn't, I feel like I'd be having much harder of a time. Yeah, it's on 5-meter grid. So that's fine. Alright, so that's high enough. That means we need to get the retaining wall up to the perfect height here so that the top of the ground doesn't interfere. It doesn't look off. I hear sword fights. I hear sword fights from the other room. I'm getting increasingly convinced that Gloria is watching Pirates of the Caribbean. But I haven't heard the song, so I don't think it's that. But I haven't been listening that closely, so you never know. How high can I raise this before it starts giving me a little bit of Z fighting trouble? Okay, that's probably as high as we should go. Let's see about this. What I definitely don't want is to see the corner or the edge, so that's too high, actually. Let's try 6, 3. Look how much of a difference that makes. Oh, I definitely have to do the middle. Okay. Okay. So that's one factory on the water side. We're definitely going to need more than that. But, it's a start. No parking. It's very, very, like, it's too nice. I don't want to put a DLS locomotive in front of this because it's going to look so bad in comparison. But we have these factory buildings, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to use them. They are stupid gorgeous. They're drop dead gorgeous. I can't even put anything that like I can't attach another building to it because it would just look so bad. I don't really know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to put a loading dock against this thing. Maybe I should just leave it as truck served and as eye candy, and forget about the idea of putting a rail line here. I mean, the most innocuous thing I could do would be put like a tank and like an oil loading rack and just have a track for a single tank car or something. But then what would we put? What would we have on that tank car? What are commodities that we have for a tank car? Are you guys still seeing my screen? No. It could also be abandoned. That's true, and I already have a couple of ideas for abandoned spots around here. But it's like, yeah, okay, some of these windows are a little bit boarded. But look how nice the model is. Can I grab it, please? Old brick factory. Look how nice the model is. Look at it. It's gorgeous. And I think I'm going to put in this building here as well. So. Oh, turn it around. Um, the model is more polys than the entirety of the 4-lane highway. That's like underselling it. This is more polys than the rest of the map. The other thing is, like, no matter what I do, I need to make sure that I am assigning, like, at least mentally assigning commodities to these things. Like, this is a tannery, or, you know, the purpose for it, right? This is a tannery, this is obviously a meatpacking plant, can't get around that one. This is a blank. Blank, 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 blank. Like, what does this do? I need to look up mills in my area, hot mills in my area, and see what they historically made. I mean, I think we already have, like, a cutlery company on the map. And balance. So I'm going to look this up because I think we have a... That's producer industry. Let me come look at the spreadsheets with me. This is going to be my last act tonight, I feel like. We have a tooling company. Bulbs. Sanchez Goods. Cannon Company. Reams. I guess we don't have a cutlery company. So that's something. And that would be very on brand. I mean, I would like to know Monkey Bananas, it's Gothic Abandoned. What would you do route reviews again like you did in the past if people submitted their routes? I would love to, but I don't really have the time. I would love to, but I can't commit to that. I can't say yes, I will do the route review because I fear that I would never get to it. That's my problem. You know, I used to have them sort of spaced out. It'd be in every 10 weeks thing. I'd do one. But I can't commit. I can't say I would. I would like to. If people got on the Discord and, like, if I had another time slot, right, and I asked people on the Discord and I let them vote for it, then yeah, absolutely. If people picked that, I would do that. I like doing that kind of thing. Let me look up John Russell Cutlery Company. No, I want the building, not the okay. That's cool. That's what it looked like. Wow, that's huge. But if you have a cutlery company, you could drop off like wood and metal, right? For this. But I don't know what a factory of this size would be. If we go back to Sacco, right? And we look at these buildings. I mean, there are a lot of large mill buildings here. That's sort of like, what did they do? What is this one? What did this do? Run-of-the-mill public house. I mean, it doesn't say. It's the loft's at. Everything's the loft's at. You know. And those are just department stores and everything. There's just all of these. This is another one. I mean, look at this place. It's gorgeous. What did it make? No idea. I could Google. I could dig around. let's see. Pepperell Mills. Um, okay, they're textile mills. Yeah, okay, so we're talking about cotton milling and stuff like that, which would make sense um, for, yeah, linens, blankets, and towels. Okay, so I think we've got to do some of that because, you farm that stuff too. Um, Matt, this is how I enjoy my time. If I'm doing nothing, I feel like I'm going to die. Um, gun factory, big textile mill. Um, yeah, I don't really have a place to drop this stuff off unless what I want to do is, and I keep saying this is going to be my last act, but we're already 2 minutes over time. Um, Response to my own last comment, that's sarcasm. Sorry if it reads. No, it's fine. I understand. I appreciate people, like, wanting me to have a life or whatever. Um, okay, so if I scoot this way, right, straighten that, we have to have this little weird bend in because if I do it as two separate ones, straighten this, please. If I do it as two separate ones, there'll be a triangle where there's nothing. Um, and let's see. I want to see if I can fit a track in here with like a warehouse building for unloading stuff for the place. And it would probably be right on the water side too, and it would have a very sharp turn to get back into this, and Mason would be very mad at me, which makes me want to do it more. Um, we're trying to figure out the story with the old mill. I don't really have a plan yet. I'm trying to figure one out. If you have a small freight house asset, you might be able to pull that off. Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking, right? That's too sharp of a corner. Um, it's just the question of, like, if I have it on this side and I put the freight house on the left, that doesn't make any sense. The stuff needs to get over to the right. Um, but if you have, like, cotton milling, sometimes it's explosive. You might want to put it in a different one, in a different building. Um, Use it to load small river boats. Yeah, this river isn't navigable, though, is the issue. Like, I was thinking about that, but it's definitely not navigable. In fact, I probably need to set up more than a couple little low-head dams along its length, uh, because this river would have been used for power more than anything right off the bat. Um, that is Temeros tight. That's better, but still not good. Would it be too unrealistic to have tracks on the wall? I'd like to have tracks on the wall. I just can't get them over there. Um, Unless I want to pull them off back here and run them down that way. Uh, I mean, I'm obsessing at getting them on the straight section, but that isn't necessary. That isn't necessary. I can stop doing that. I can have it come off here. Yeah, it's very much Porter approved. Um, and honestly, I kind of want to have it look like that, parallel to that building. And then tie in here, and if we have it tie in here, that means I need to add another spline point so that I can straighten the track ahead of the thing. But that's not the end of the world. A little broken back curve never hurt anyone. Jebediah, this is part of Bellington. Some of the towns along the river. Is it Bachman 060 approved? let's pull this back to here. Can I make that parallel to here? And let's see if I can find like a very long and thin warehouse building, or at least things that I can string together to look like a long and thin warehouse building. Because I've done that plenty of times. That's not it. What about... Wharf, no road. What is that? Oh, it's this thing. I remember that thing. I've used that way too many times. Um, let's see. Oh, snap. I'm still on splines. I have warehouse splines. I did not realize that. That's pretty great, though. We could definitely make use of those in the future. That's hilarious. Let's go back to here. Ace Hardware Distribution Warehouse. Holy Moses. Oh, you. I've used this more than a couple times, but we can use it again. Doesn't really fit the vibe of the location, though. I don't like it. Especially because on this side it's going to be looking right on the edge. And it doesn't... I mean, it does have doors on the backside, too. But it doesn't really have room for a big, long platform. And this is what I was talking about. Like, nothing next to this is going to look good. This I've used plenty of times. Maybe not really on this map, but I've definitely used it. Okay. Okay. I know it's cemetery, but doesn't look half bad in this location. And I can put a bunch of them next to one another to make a very long warehouse, or at least two of them. I do not know what's being watched. I'm hearing like whales and stuff in the other room. Thought it was Chewbacca. It's like Gloria's watching Star Wars without me, which is fine, but you know, Gloria was just going to randomly put on Star Wars. I would have liked to have been included. Oh, it is 67. Nope, come on. Yeah, we got 10 stream viewers with negative 8 minutes left is right. I mean, you know, sometimes it just don't stop. The grind don't stop, Matt. Come on, work with me. This is why I should go into Surveyor 2.0 and do the fine adjustment tools. Because then I can move it in one direction at a time, and it doesn't care where the ground is. But the other thing is, I need a platform, right? I need a platform. Also, this is too low because the track is hovering, or the track is too high, really. But I need a platform for this, and that's something I'm going to figure out later because I have to end the stream now. Otherwise, I'm going to be here all night, and I need to eat dinner at some point. So, we started figuring out these. We did a little bit of scenery. I think this is going to be great. We just need to fill in this area here. I don't know what width yet. And we need to figure out power for this place. I don't know if we're going to be doing a coal-fired plant that's supplied here, or if we're going to be getting it from somewhere else. I know I had high-tension lines over there in Olive, coming from somewhere. I don't know. We got a long ways to go with Bellington. We'll figure it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next week.